Good morning, it's Jonathan Bauer with the morning debrief. It's the 16th of March. The Dow's closed. It's at 7:37 at the moment. And, well, what a night, what a day, what a last 24 hours, in fact. And I guess, if anything, the Nikkei market was down 14% at one stage. It closed only down 10%. That was quite encouraging, that close. The weakness spread through Europe and also into the States, but we're not seeing the numbers as aggressive as they were in Asia. As a result of that, the local market was oversold, and we actually had a positive night on SciComm last night. The Dow in itself was only down about 137 points, and I think that's not a bad result given the mayhem that occurred on the Nikkei yesterday. Okay, what we can do is let's have a look at a few of the closes. So let's just grab that. Okay, there's the Dow there. Most bits of news there. Obviously more concerns, particularly as Can urges calm. Fed, Bernanke is still continuing with the $600 billion stimulus program or repurchase of bonds. So he really can't do too much on the back of that. And he does acknowledge the fact that higher energy prices will have a temporary effect of inflation. But he's certainly committed to his goals in seeing growth occur. Okay, and also the stimulus packages. Just an overview of what all the stock markets did. And the Dow, as we mentioned, was down, as you can see, 137. That's not a bad outcome. Only down 1.15%. S&P was down 1.2%. The Nasdaq was down 1.25. Not so good over in Europe. The top 50 there was down 2.38%. FTSE 1.38. The CAC, as you can see, down 2.5. And the DAX took quite a large beating. That was down 218 points, or 219 points, at 3.19%. Okay, the local market, as mentioned, fared okay. It was actually up 13 at 4,548, and that to me is a little bit more encouraging. Okay, let's have a look at some of the other markets. Let's first of all look at the dollar index, and it still seems to be stuck in this range. We are still supportive of the dollar, but as you can see, as you can see, there it is. It's broken that trend, and now we're just going sideways. I guess if we take out these lows here, I'd be concerned. We are right on that low, and but this sort of move here does suggest working in a triangle. We might sort of test the top side. A bit too early to tell 100%. Okay, having a look, I guess, at the gold, because gold had a huge move last night, and there you can see that, but it did bounce back after getting as low of sort of around that, in fact, a little bit lower than that, 1386. Bit of a bounce back. I think we come back to good support here around that 1390, and I think I wouldn't mind not having to go there, but too early to tell at the moment. Just keep close to it. Silver also took a bit of a pounding, 34.15 at the moment. It doesn't look as bad as gold, and probably expectations there. Just keep close to it because you might find a little bit of a low. Having a look at crude. Crude also under pressure. Interesting here to see that the market is discounting what's happening in the Middle East, even though we had concerns in Bahrain, and that seems to be escalating with what's happening there and sort of the introduction of martial law. But we do have good support around that 96.40 area, or 96, so that might hold for the time being. One thing to note, the concerns in the Middle East are not over, and there is still significant unrest there. So at any point, we could see a little bit of a move to the top side. Let's just see how that unfolds. But at the moment, I'm coming back just a little bit. Righty-ho, now moving on to, that was crude. We've mentioned gold and silver. Copper. Copper's coming back, obviously, with what's happening in Japan. Interesting story here. There is an effect, obviously, on global growth. That's going to be an issue. Copper came under pressure at 410, came low, and we've rallied all the way back up to 419. In my mind, that does put a little bit of a low in place for copper, and I actually feel that a dip back down to that 410 area, or even 405, can't be ruled out. But if we get a movement back to 410, 415, I think I'd probably have a look at it with a stop below that. Looking at the daily charts, you can see that doesn't look too crash hot, that chart, but let's see what I can do with it. Just give it a little bit of yeah, but you can see that we're getting close to an intermediate low here for copper. If you were to buy it around these levels, the stop has to go in around about 390, 395, because the rebuilding that'll probably have to go on in China once again, the market has to focus on the demand there for some commodities, and that just might help it along. Okay, basically grain prices all got absolutely smashed last night, and you can see that across the board. Obviously, this is an effect on global growth. Soybeans will come back down to that 633 level, so certainly under pressure there. Wheat, same sort of deal there. Come back to this area of support, which is 650. So expect more downside in those grains at the moment. And corn is the same. In fact, corn actually broke through some of those critical areas and then traded lower. So in fact, you might see more downside for corn over wheat and soybeans. Yeah, so quite interesting. Obviously, nuclear stocks continue to get hammered. ERA, Paddy and Barraman, all under pressure. Natural gas is something we thought was something to look at, and when you certainly look at the charts here, we've had a little bit of a lift last night, and I think that's certainly encouraging. And I've just got this hourly chart here because that's something which we are looking at and have looked at. We are long natural gas, and I do think that that this is an opportunity. As you can see, that big movement down there last night, we mentioned in our tweets that that's certainly something to look at on a dip, and that seems to work quite nicely. So really, that's all on the markets. Economic calendar tonight. We've got PPI, very important there, and PPI quite important in the States. We've also got quite a few other things. I'll just check that there. Quite a few other things. There we are. Housing starts, producer prices, there we are. So quite important. That'll be the lead for tomorrow as well, because tomorrow we do have that important CPI. Well, that's about it from me. Just in terms of positions, natural gas, I think we like. We have been long grains. We have been easing out of our positions in grains just purely because it's not right, and just reducing our positions until we get a low. So copper, I think you can have a look at the dip there as well. But that's about it from me. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll certainly talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.